Photons. Photons are specifically a quantum measurement, which you can go reference and find out why I would make a statement like that, but they absolutely are. They are a referential measurement to other real energies. So the reason you can say that is a photon in the measurement sciences, the very roots of how we understand or still trying to understand these things. The photon has no mass. Now that's a key in understanding where the photon fits between the rest of matter out here in everywhere. The photon is a disturbance of electron shell energies. It is a signature of electron movement and available energy in electron space called, it would be free energy. It's very well understood. The energy is released when an electron, any electron, and it is multiple electrons in some cases, change shells when they move energy levels. It's actually when they go down one shell, this energy is expressed, and we call it a photon. That's our term for that energy expression. It is related exactly to one electron's movement. But we could never see one electron's movement. We still can't. We can visualize, we can conceptualize, but to actually see this thing, we're still seeing CGI. It's a representation based on huge math models run on supercomputers. But the electron, again, with no mass, causes all sorts of issues if you try to put it into quantum mechanics. It causes a divide by zero error. So now you have to allow for a massless energy transfer. In all energy transfers, there is interferometry, interference in the movement of energy itself. For high-frequency electrons, we'll call it microwave or radar waves. The energy does not travel in the core of the wire. It travels on the surface of the wire. The higher the frequency, the more the tendency is to travel on the surface of the wire. So the current in the center of the wire is actually lower than the outside of it. This is called the impedance factor of the wire. It's specific to the frequency range of the wires, but that's the rating. If you've ever used 50 ohm or 60 ohm coax cable, you have a hint at the complexities we're talking about. So there is interference, interferometry in applied optics. This is something we can see. We are actually seeing electrons in molecules around what we're looking at, aligning or moving in space in some type of resonance harmonics related to the space surrounding them. Very tough conceptual thing, but we have proven that the photon is directly related to electron movement. Period, end. The implications of that are still out there. At low frequencies, at DC voltages, we speak about resistance. The equations become very simple at low frequencies. When you start getting into higher frequencies, this is sound. Low frequencies, audio. Sound is the movement of air pressure. As those pressure waves pass your ears, you are hearing air. If you can see what's moving the air, a speaker, an instrument, a truck passing by, then you know what moved the air, and now you've tied a visualization to it, a concept of something moving in local space, the air around you. The visualization you can see further away than the sound. That energy, those photons, that energy transmitted through and between electrons on a scale that's very hard to imagine. It's gotten easier to conceptualize because of computers, algorithms, and graphics. So that photon is another particle. I spoke to alpha, beta, and gamma particles. Those are other discrete emissions separate from electron emissions. But when that nucleus explodes, all the electrons near it, plus some of the ancillary damage to electrons, vibrations, harmonics, and its other light, Carillion light, the blue light from nuclear waste fuel pools, all relative meaningful information. Interferometry, spectrometry, optical emissions, audible emissions, electron emissions. You can feel a shock. You can get shocked, but that's not a very good measurement. It's enough to know you don't want to get shocked again. Photons, purely conceptual, absolutely relational, qualifiable, quantifiable, and qualifiable, meaning you can define a quantity and its actions. You can qualify very precisely how well you can qualify the actions. It's Measurement Sciences 101. Qualify and quantify the instrument itself, the measurement itself. Database structures, classify the information, set the metadata tables correctly so the person searching in terabytes of information can quickly access it. Things we do.